Hello and welcome to your yin yang practice for today. The props that we'll be needing are 2 blocks, and then if you have a blanket, I'm just sitting on the edge of a blanket, but feel free to use maybe a couple of large bath towels, that'll do. But if you have 2 blocks, definitely grab those. And then we're going to get started in an easy seat position. So feel free to sit cross-legged position, have the legs as loose out in front of you as you would like. And again, I'm just sitting at the edge of my blanket, so feel free to find a comfortable seat position that will stay here for several minutes. So start to settle in. You might want to wiggle down into the hips, get any wiggles out that you might need, and start to sit up nice and tall. Allow your shoulder blades to come down away from the ears, relax your jaw. Maybe you decide to soften your gaze or close your eyes completely. Find whatever's comfortable for you right here, right now. And take a moment just to notice how you're breathing. Notice if you feel the breath anywhere throughout the body. Maybe the breath gets caught somewhere in the throat. Or are you allowing yourself for some deep belly breaths and you can feel it in the abdomen with the breath expanding into the belly? Just simply notice, turning your attention inwards. Check in with yourself, whether you are feeling maybe a little bit irritated today, or maybe you got some not so good news. Maybe you're having a great day. Maybe it's just an okay day. However you are right here, just arrive on your mat how you are. No need to change anything, no judgments. Allow yourself to draw inwards. And if you haven't done so yet, feel free to seal the lips. So you're taking an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the nose. Notice if that changes your breathing pattern in any way. The cadence of your breath can just naturally change with sealing the lips. And now see if you can slow down your exhales just a little bit. Nothing forceful, and still keeping the body relaxed as you can. Just really allow yourself that full exhalation. Long, slow exhalation. Nourishing inhale through the nose. Long, slow, steady breath out through the nose. Maybe on your exhales, you soften through the hips or through the top of the thighs. Soften the glutes. And sometimes we unintentionally hold on to tension. And until we draw our attention to those parts and pieces of our body, we might be holding on or clenching even. And just kind of doing a quick body scan on yourself can really be helpful. Now let certain parts of your body relax that you just weren't aware that you were holding on, and let that tension go. Whenever you're ready, start to float the eyelids back open. We're going to add in a little bit of movement. So let's take the right hand to your mat. Take an inhale, reach the left arm up and over, and start to side bend to the right. Side bend just enough to where you feel that little bit of resistance on the left side of the body. You might be feeling a little bit of stretch down into the left hip flexor, maybe through the left side ribs. Take a moment to breathe into that space. You might even decide to cactus that left arm, rotate the rib cage out to the left. And feel that extra bit of stretch now through the chest and the pecs. Return back to center, reaching that left arm up and over. Come back to your side bend. And then on your exhale, start to windmill the arms down towards in front of you. We're going to come to a little seated forward fold. So feel free to round the spine here as much or as little as you would like. And I'm just up on my fingertips, just helping facilitate this forward fold here. So again, nothing too deep, not going to your full range of motion. Allow your head to drop. Release any tension through the back of the neck. Take an inhale to walk your hands back towards your body. Come to an upright position. Maybe you decide to roll the shoulders backwards or forward. Maybe even shrugging the shoulders up and down. And then finding some stillness again. Bring your left hand to your mat. Take an inhale, reach your right arm up and over. Find that side bend to the left side now. And if the right sit bone tries to peel up off the mat, see if you can kind of glue your right sit bone down towards your mat and really feel into the right side body. And now here's where you might want to cactus that right arm again. So bending the right elbow perhaps, spinning the rib cage towards the right side now. And just feeling into the pecs, a little bit of an extra stretch. Chest is nice and open, a little bit of lift in the sternum. And take an exhale to come back to the side bend, nice and slow, breathing back into that right side of the rib cage. And then on your next exhale, we're going to windmill the arms forward again. Find that nice, easy seated forward fold. But maybe you decide to forward fold a little bit more here. Maybe bring the forearms down. Release that tension in the neck. Maybe just let your chin come down towards your chest. And feel the sensations through the back of the legs and through the hips. Let your jaw be heavy here. Take another inhale, walk your hands back towards your body, come to an upright position. Bring your hands behind you, step your feet wide, and we're just going to wind chill the legs side to side here. So drawing the knees to one side and then drawing the knees towards the other side. Now, the knees don't have to touch the floor, no worries. Want to just feel that little bit of rotation in the hips. Nice, easy side to side movement here. And come back to your breath also. So nice, slow, steady breath. And then whenever your knees are back to center, we're going to make our way to tabletop. So if you have that blanket and your knees are a little bit tender today, you might want to put an extra padding underneath your knees. So option for that, but feel free to meet me on hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And see if that feels good in your body. Now, it might feel better in your body to walk your hands a little bit farther away from you. And that's totally fine as well. We're just going to kind of move the body side to side, sway in the hips. And just getting familiar with being on hands and knees. So take a moment to maybe even tuck the toes under, leaning back into the hips. Get a nice little toe stretch. And just making any movement here that feels good. So you might even want to explore some cat and cow movement. And it can be something that's super like lazy feeling. So nothing rigid, just moving the body. And we want to create some warmth and circulation here. It's all about the yin and the yang. But in this class, we're starting with the yang. And then we'll finish a little bit of yin. Nice shavasana. You might even want to come into an upward dog position here. Maybe even shifting back into the hips. Honestly, just take this time to explore your body. I mean, this is your home practice. So, this is your time to really just, who cares on what you look like? You won't have anybody watching you in your home at your home practice here, so feel into those nooks and crannies of the body, exploring and seeing what feels interesting. Maybe you come to upward dog and then come back to a quick extended child's pose, and then maybe a cat and cow. Especially if you're doing this practice first thing in the morning, this is going to be great to just kind of move and stretch that fascia, superficial fascia, which is just underneath the skin. Take a few more times there, and any movement that you would like. Come back to your breath as well, so keeping that nice, slow, steady breath. And then find some stillness in a tabletop. Let's take an inhale to tuck the toes. Exhale, start to lift the knees. Come to a downward facing dog. So knees can be bent. Find that length in the spine. Fingers can be spread wide. And just finding an easy downward dog. You might want to pedal out the feet here. Bending one knee, then bending the other knee. Take an inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step forward. We're coming to a forward fold here. Now this is just an easy forward fold. So if you have those blocks, feel free to place your hands on the blocks if you would like. Nice, easy forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. So nice bend in the knees, especially if your hamstrings are pretty tight. So with the hamstrings being pretty tight, feel free to bend those knees as much as you need to, maybe even resting the abdomen on the top of your thighs. Let your head be heavy. Root down through the feet. We're going to take an inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, extended mountain, maybe even a little bit of a back bend here. And then exhale to soften the knees and forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands, step back to a plank. Feel free to lower the knees and take an exhale to come all the way down to your mat. And inhale for a baby cobra or a cobra pose, coming up a little bit more into your back bend, keeping the shoulder blades back and down, rooting down through the hands. Take a few breaths here. And then on an exhale, start to lower yourself all the way down. Inhale, push through the hands. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few moments to stroll through the feet. Inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Step just the right foot forward. You're going to land that back knee. Take an inhale, raise the arms up overhead. Low lunge here. Few breaths. So you can keep the arms up overhead, or maybe have the arms just down by your side, especially if your arms are feeling pretty fatigued today. Or maybe even just finding a bind, having the arms behind, interlace the fingers. Totally up to you. We'll be here for a few more breaths. I'm going to take the arms up overhead version. Come back to your breath. And if your arms are not over your head, go ahead and raise the arms up overhead just for a moment, taking an inhale. And then as you exhale, start to lower the arms to a T, but the left arm is going to reach back, the right arm reaches forward. A nice little stretch through the chest again. And try not to go to your full range of motion with this reaching through the arms. So just enough to where you feel that little bit of resistance to the pecs and the chest. A few more breaths here. Really ground down through that right foot. Maybe even try to spread the toes wide. Take an inhale, reach both arms up overhead, undo your twist, come back to center. And then take an exhale, release the hands down to the mat. We're going to step the right foot back, come back to your tabletop. And take a moment to inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin, spread the collarbones, and you may want to tuck the toes, coming to a cow pose. And inhale, round the spine, chin to chest, maybe untucking the toes here. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin. Maybe tuck the toes. And then an exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, coming to a cat pose. Inhale, come back to neutral. So meeting back in a neutral tabletop. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, start to lift the knees, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step just the left foot forward. Land that back knee. We're going to take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths in this low lunge. So again, if you would like to have the arms down by your side, if that's more comfortable, maybe having the arms in a bind, reaching behind you, interlacing the fingers. Whatever feels good here. Take a nice deep breath in. Long, slow exhale through the nose. And so we're just slowly and gradually building up this warmth and circulation in the body and getting things fired up. Take another inhale here with the arms reaching up overhead. And then an exhale, open out to the right. So right arm reaches towards the back of your room. Left arm reaches towards the front of your mat there. Find a little twist. Come back to your breath. Root down through that left foot. Toes are wide. My back toes are actually tucked here. I find it easier to have a balance here in the slow lunge with the toes tucked. But feel free to untuck the toes if that's too much on the knee. A few more breaths here in our twist. Take an inhale, reach both arms up overhead, come back to center. And an exhale, release your hands down towards your mat. Sweep that left knee back in towards the mat. Come back to tabletop. Take an inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, lift the knees, downward dog. And then again, maybe make some movement here in your downward dog. And sometimes it can be nice to find some stillness in the upper body, but swaying side to side gently in the lower body. Swaying side to side in the hips there. And then we'll find some stillness. Let's take an inhale. Come up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Step forward to an easy forward fold. Bending the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. So you can think of flat back here, but really just trying to extend the spine, lengthen the spine from tailbone to the crown of the head. And an exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, extended mountain, get nice and tall. Exhale, bend the knees, chair pose, sink the hips down. Feel into the feet, toes are wide. Take an inhale here. And an exhale, start to step the left foot back, come to a warrior one. So find your warrior one stance here. Take an inhale through the nose. And an exhale to open out to a warrior two. So think of heel to arch. Nice warrior two stance. You can bend that front knee as much as you need to. It can come past that right ankle bone if that feels better in your body. Few deep breaths, reaching through the arms, but see if you can keep a little bit of a softness in the elbows. Few breaths here. On your next inhale, start to reach forward. Reverse this warrior here. So right arm reaches up, left arm slides down that left leg, or maybe just supporting the low back. You can keep that right knee bent or straighten that right leg. Whatever feels better in your body. On your next exhale, come back to warrior two. Start to straighten that front leg, pivot the right toes towards the long edge of the mat, so we're coming to a five-pointed star. Start to bend the elbows, cactus arms, turn the heels in, the toes out. Start to bend the knees. We're going to come to a goddess pose. So drawing the tailbone down towards your mat. Feel that stretch through the thighs. Nice deep breath. On your next inhale, come back to that 5-pointed star. You might need to adjust the toes just a little bit to pivot the toes towards the long edge of your mat there again. Take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And an exhale to forward fold here in our wide-legged stance. Nice, easy, wide-legged forward fold. This might be helpful if you have those blocks and you want to place your hands on the blocks. We'll be here for a few breaths, so feel free to find any support there that you would like. Let your head be heavy. Let the jaw be slack, so you might part the teeth slightly. Few more breaths. On your next inhale, let's come to a halfway lift, placing the hands anywhere along the legs. My hands are just kind of wrapping around my shins, finding a halfway lift here. Lengthen from tailbone to crown of the head again. And exhale to soften the knees and forward fold. Inhale, ground down through the feet, rise all the way up. Stretch the arms up overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to pivot the right toes towards the front edge of our mat. Bend that right knee, extend the arms back out to your warrior two. Few more breaths here in your warrior two. You might find a gaze down the right fingertips. Whenever you're ready, we're going to step that left foot forward to meet the right, hands to heart center. Take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and exhale to soften the knees and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands, step back to a plank position. Feel free to lower the knees here and come all the way down on an exhale. Inhale to your cobra or your baby cobra pose. Nice back bend here. We're going to stay here for a few breaths again, so release any gripping through the glutes. Allow the chest to reach forward and shoulder blades coming back and down, elbows close into the ribs. On your next exhale, start to slowly come on down, just slowly letting the spine ripple on down. Take an inhale, come up to tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes under and come to a downward facing dog on your exhale. Few breaths here. Inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step forward, easy forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, extended mountain. And exhale, sink the knees, chair pose. Few breaths here. Maybe you sink the hips a little bit farther down on your exhale. Really root down through the feet. Maybe even send the weight into the heels a little bit, especially if you're looking down and you can't see your toes. So send the weight into the heels a little bit more and see what a difference that makes. Take an inhale here through the nose. And on an exhale, step the right foot back. Come to warrior one on this side. Bend that left knee as much as you need to. Root down through that right foot. So kind of imagine like you're sort of trying to separate the mat between your feet. And you can have the arms stretched up overhead here. We'll be here just for a few breaths in this warrior one. Let the sides of the body be nice and long. Take an inhale through the nose here and an exhale to open out to warrior two. So my back is going to be turned to you here. Bend in that left knee as much as you would like. And sometimes the knee wants to drift inwards, so feel free to use your left hand to open up that knee. Really reach through the arms here. Nice heel to arch stance. But try not to go rigid, but really just find that nice gaze. Come back to your breath. Whenever you're ready, let's take an inhale, reach forward, and an exhale to reverse the warrior. So we have a lot of options here. So left arm reaches up and over, the right hand can slide down the leg, or again, support the low back on this side if that felt nice to you. And then the left knee can stay bent or straighten that left leg a little bit or a lot. Whatever feels good there. Feel free to make any modifications to what feels good in your body. Maybe draw the tailbone a little bit down towards your mat. A few more breaths. Breathing into the left side ribs. And then on an exhale, start to come back to your warrior two. Maybe rebend that left knee. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Pivot the left toes towards the long edge of the mat. And again, my back is turned to you still. Start to bend the elbows, find your cactus arms, heels in, toes pointed out. We're going to start to bend our knees, finding a goddess pose, and just drawing that tailbone down towards your mat again, sinking the hips down. Take your time here and just notice the sensations that you're feeling through the legs. Notice when you've gone a little too far with your range of motion. Ground down through the feet. Take an inhale, start to straighten the legs, reach the arms back out to a T, come back to your five-pointed star. Few breaths here. Start to take an inhale, stretch the arms up overhead, and exhale, soften the knees a little bit, start to forward fold. And so you might just have your fingertips touching the mat, maybe full palms touching the mat, or perhaps using your blocks to bring your hands up on the mat and bring the floor up to you. So several options there. But whenever you arrive in your wide-legged forward fold, see if you can allow the head to be heavy. Let gravity take over here. So let your whole upper body just be as loose and heavy as you can be. So releasing any tension there. Whether that means you need to bend the knees a little bit more, perhaps, feel free to do that. Come back to your breath. Soften your jaw. Let go of any expectation of what this should look like in your body and really just feel into the body, making any little modifications that you need. And that's what I love about a home practice too, is that you can make any modifications you would like. And it's just you and your home or wherever you might be practicing. But you can feel free to pause the video too and, grab any other props that you might need or make any adjustments. On an inhale, let's go to a halfway lift. Find a place on the legs that you can lengthen the spine again. Gaze is down towards your mat. And an exhale to forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to a five-pointed star. And then we're going to start to pivot the left toes towards the front of your mat. Rebend that left knee. Come back to your warrior two. Few breaths here in our warrior two. And start to root down through that left foot and then step the right foot through. Come to the front of your mat, hands to heart center. Take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, soften the knees and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank position. Feel free to lower the knees. Take an exhale to come all the way down. And inhale for baby cobra or cobra pose. And an exhale to come all the way down. Inhale, push the hands, briefly coming to tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. So coming to a brief child's pose, just having the arms extended out in front of you. Feel that length through the side body. Maybe even a little stretch up into the armpits. You can let your forehead rest on your mat there. And just take a few deep breaths. Notice the sensations of the circumference around your rib cage. That gentle movement with the breath. That just natural, organic movement. Keeping things nice and slow and steady with the breath. The next time you take an inhale, come back to tabletop. And then we're going to make our way a a yin pose. So we're going to come to a puppy pose, but you can feel free to bring your hands onto blocks, maybe even using a blanket to kind of roll up in place between the hamstrings and your calves. So that can be an option. And then I'll give you an option with the arms as well. So again, with the puppy pose, it might feel best to have a seat that's more back into a child's pose, like this with the blanket. So that's totally fine. If this is what you would like to do and be more of an extended child's pose, that is absolutely fine. Or if you want to completely ditch the blanket and come to more of a puppy pose without the blocks and find that length in the spine, start to come to a tabletop and then just walking your hands away from you, and then really just allow the hips to come to a high position where you can rest the forehead down onto your mat. The arms are extended out in front of you, hips are high. You can even tuck the toes under here if you would like. Now I'll give you another option here for the arms. So you can bend the elbows and place both hands behind you. Now, bringing the palms together if they touch. Now, if they don't touch, this is where you can also use the blocks for that as well. So if you do want to come to a puppy pose with the hips high in a traditional puppy pose, you can just have the elbows on the blocks, have your forehead rested down, and that can make it a little bit more accessible so you can bring the palms of your hands together. So just depending on your body structure really will depend on what support you might need. So, and then your elbows can bend as much as you would like, whatever feels good there to get that stretch through the back of the arms. Forehead again is just rested on my mat. And we're going to take a few slow and steady breaths. Allowing this to be a nice passive stretch here. And sometimes it can feel nice to add in a bee breath on the exhale with this position. So as you take an inhale through the nose, and then a slow, long exhalation through the nose, but you'll hum on the exhale. And so that can be really lovely to support the lungs. And so whenever you're ready, we're going to start to slowly reach our arms back overhead. Start to draw your hands away from each other. Stretch the arms out in front of you. And then start to lift the head and then walk your hands back towards your body. And you can remove the blocks at this point. We're going to take a few just easy cat and cows. So whenever you're ready, on an inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin, spread the collarbones. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin and the gaze. And then exhale, let's start to round the spine and just sink back slowly to a child's pose, keeping the spine nice and rounded perhaps. And then from here, let's give the arms just a little bit of a break. Maybe wrap the arms down by your legs. Allow the forehead to rest again on your mat. But let your arms be as heavy as they can be. So really allow the back of the shoulder blades to just sort of separate. And the top of your shoulders are really nice and heavy. And use your exhalations to soften through the back of the body as much as you can. And then, whenever you're ready on an inhale, come back to a tabletop just briefly. And we're going to make our way onto our back. So, move your props out of the way, make your way onto your back, but towards the left edge of your mat. So, we're going to need some space on the right side of our mat. So, come to the very left edge. And then we're going to make our way to a banana pose. So, start to walk your feet towards the right outer edge of your mat. Bring your upper body with you, and then stopping just until you find that nice stretch to the left side of the body. Now here you might want to leave your arms down by your side, or perhaps reach the arms up overhead and just rest them very nice and heavy up overhead. So allow your body to be completely heavy here. You might even want to make some small micro adjustments by crossing the left ankle over the right. That can add a little bit more stretch to that left hip flexor, perhaps. But just take a moment to notice if you've gone too far, too deep into the stretch. So we want to stop just enough to where we find that little bit of resistance along the left side of the body. And a good rule of thumb is to go into each posture or shape with about 60 to 70% of your range of motion. So allowing our body to slowly open up in a passive way and allowing the fascia to stretch in the way that it needs to. If you start to have any like sharp shooting pain in your arms, feel free to bring your arms down by your side. Maybe rest your hands on your belly. Come back to your breath. Check in with your hips. And whenever you're ready, start to uncross the left ankle. Walk your feet back towards your mat. Bring your upper body with you. So we're going to start to just lengthen the body again. And take a moment, maybe even to bend your knees, plant your feet, and let your knees come together. Take a moment there just to notice. And then start to make your way towards the outer, or not the outer, sorry, towards the right side of your mat, just towards the edge of your mat there. Lengthen your legs. Let your arms rest down by your side. Start to walk your feet towards the left side of your mat. Bring your upper body with you. Let's find that banana shape on this side. So you might want to bring your arms up overhead. Maybe reach a little bit through that right side, especially under or up into the right armpit there. Let your arms rest back. Let your shoulder blades rest back. Get nice and heavy through the upper body. And then you might decide to cross that right ankle over the left, feeling a little bit more through that right hip flexor. And just see what feels good. So feel free to try it out. Try these little micro adjustments out, but whatever doesn't feel good, just feel free to come back to what does feel good. So maybe that means doing a little bit less, and that's totally fine. Give yourself that permission to. Relax your body. Relax on the exhales. Notice what thoughts are swirling around in the mind. And if any thoughts that are coming up that are not serving to you, feel free to push those aside. Come back to your breath each and every time. We'll be here for a few more breaths. Take these moments to really allow yourself to soften, maybe through the glutes a little bit more, the top of the thighs, or maybe even just releasing some tension through the feet. You might be gripping or kind of holding on to tension through the feet. Doing a quick body scan to allow yourself to soften even more. And whenever you're ready, start to uncross the ankle if it was crossed. Start to walk your feet back towards center. Bring your upper body with you. And just make your way back to the center of your mat. And start to bend your knees. Plant your feet pretty wide and let your knees fall together. Come back to a constructive rest for a moment. Take a moment for a few deep belly breaths. So really expand the belly on your inhale. Soften on the exhale. And maybe you come back to the B breath. So come back to a nice gentle hum on the exhale. Take a moment to separate the knees and hug the knees into the chest. You might want to sway side to side here. Maybe even circling the knees using your hands. And then take a moment to stretch the legs out long. You can settle into a shavasana that will stay in for a couple of moments and allow ourselves to relax here. So you might want to come to a corpse pose, or maybe perhaps rolling up a blanket, placing it underneath the knees. Take a moment to let your full body be heavy. Maybe starting with the back of the head, let the head rest back of your shoulder blades. Maybe even noticing which parts of the back are touching your mat. Part of the low back that might not be meeting your mat. Notice if you're unintentionally holding on to that tension that we were talking about earlier. So allow your glutes to soften. See if you were kind of clenching or holding on to the glutes. Let the top of your thighs be heavy. Release any gripping there. Let the legs be long and heavy, all the way down to the toes. Relax the forehead and the jaw. You might notice that slight movement of the chest with your inhales and your exhales. Gentle rise and fall of the belly. And release any tension through the hips. Come back to your breath. Whenever you're ready, start to rebend your knees, plant your feet, roll onto your right side, use your left hand to bring you into an upright position. And then come to an easy seat as we close out this practice. Feel free to bring your hands to heart center here. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope this practice was what you needed. And remember to take care of yourself. Namaste.